WQEE 99.1 FM The Key, Newnan, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
Good morning. Welcome to WQEE 99.1. I'm Donna.
And I am Bruce.
And this is Lyrical Wisdom. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna.
So good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Now.
It's good,
Yeah.
It's good to be here this morning. Good to be back on air and to be sitting here. It's a beautiful day out there. I love the change in weather.
Oh, isn't it lovely?
Glorious.
Oh, it feels so good.
Glorious out there. It really does. Yeah, I'm very happy with a little bit of a cooler air. That is for sure.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yes. Yes, it really, really is. And we had a couple of things that we wanted to tell the people that we are very happy to be thankful for the requests.
Yes. Thank you all so very, very much. We have received several requests.
Yeah.
And we wanted to let you know that as we do these requests, we are also adding some to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
So please go check out our YouTube channel, Lyrical Wisdom, to see if your request may have been uploaded on YouTube.
Yeah.
We have several requests, so some of them have sent in several requests as an individual.
Yeah.
So we're going to record some of those requests for you and go ahead and put them on YouTube so you all can enjoy Lyrical Wisdom each and every day by going to YouTube and searching Lyrical Wisdom. So
Absolutely.
You may not hear it here live on WQEE 99.1 FM, but you can always go to our YouTube Lyrical Wisdom and search and see if your request is there, because we're putting them there.
We are, and I'm glad that Donna mentioned that, and I could feel I had the desire to say channel. It isn't our YouTube channel. It is just on YouTube as Lyrical Wisdom, and make sure you search for that.
It's our channel. Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of like something you'll have to scroll down a little bit to find, but
you'll find the really cute picture of Bruce and I on there.
I would have said the really cute picture of Donna and I instead of Bruce, but it is a very cool picture. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
and,
Allison did a great job doing that.
Yes,
she
she
really did. So we're also going to be shooting some video as we do these live shows, so you all can get to meet us in person as well. So check out that YouTube channel, and you'll be able to meet us in person.
Absolutely.
And find your request there as well. But this morning, we are doing a very special request.
We are.
From Ryan.
Yes.
From the radio.
The guy that's with us here every morning.
Yes. He had a request for us. Sympathy of Destruction by Megadeth. Ooh.
We have been looking forward to this.
Oh, okay. Here we go, guys. Let's do this. You take a mortal man and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads a-roll. Just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, we dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony of destruction. Acting like a robot, its metal brain corrodes. You try to take its pulse before the head explodes. Just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, we dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony. Just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, we dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony. Swaying to the symphony of destruction. The earth starts to rumble. World powers fall. A warring for the heavens. A peaceful man stands tall. Just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, we dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony.
Wow. It's really a beautiful song. And, I don't know if anybody's listened to it just by reading the lyrics like that, but I've listened to it now in both versions. And so I can honestly say, I love this song in general, but it's just different when you hear it without anything else but just those lyrics like that. It's like a beautiful poem in a way.
You have to listen.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing. Music moves us. The tones can really, really affect us in our physical body.
Absolutely.
Of course, the voice, too, has tone.
Yeah.
But when one is just speaking, it seems that the words become more alive in their frequency.
That really resonates with me. And I find that interesting because then if you take that, which is really cool, how synchronistic is that, and you think about this song, because
you take a mortal man.
You take a mortal man and put him in control.
What kind of control?
Well, and that's where it then gives you sort of a taste of what kind of control he could have had or could have been given, because then after that it says, watch him become a god.
And watch people's heads roll.
Yeah. So kind of a little indication on how much power he was given. But I guess it would be, in which direction do we think of that? And I'm thinking that it's just opening a door to the opportunity of seeing how we can be our own co-creator in this.
Yeah, because when you take a mortal man, to me, that is really speaking into the humanness of us all.
Yeah.
And when you just concentrate on that aspect of self and put that self in control, and I'm not talking about, it's obvious, or very, if you read it literally, we're talking about, become president. We take a man and we vote him for president. We put him in control.
We put him in control. And then we
executive of a company. It doesn't matter what top we're speaking of.
Right.
I'm talking about just the individual
as
well.
Yeah.
When a mortal man is put in control of just self, of his self.
Yeah.
He does become a god.
We are the god of our creation.
Self-centered and egotistical, whatever you want to call those words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people's heads roll, meaning they don't resonate anymore. The frequency is different.
Yes.
You can't relate to that person because they have set aside their divinity, in my opinion.
Yes.
That's what I believe the song is saying.
Yeah. They've set aside because in a way it's an us against kind of them kind of mentality, and this is about some of the competition that we are sometimes fed to believe is in our world, in the world that we create for ourselves, because really we all create our own reality as we live through it every day. And I think I agree, it's a way that we feel like we are our own God, even though, of course, we have our own God. It's still the feeling that we have of our own power to be our own co-creator in this existence.
Correct.
And so watching people's heads roll, it's like as it goes into the next part of the lyrics, this is a little bit of a hint, I think, at some of the programming that we're given in our universe that is telling us, hey, this is how we're supposed to, no, you over there, you got to look at it this way. Remember, you got to be in this kind of competitive feeling. It's us versus them, and we need to, feel like we've got our ego at the forefront of charging kind of forward into this life. And watching people's heads roll, I feel like that's a little bit of a nod to that. That idea that we need to kind of fight.
Well, also for me, I just saw like someone getting their head chopped off, which is well. It's also if you don't follow, if you don't conform to the system that I'm creating, then I'm just going to do away with you. It's that sort of. Literally getting your head chopped off. People did used to do that.
That's amazing. Yes.
When you went against the government, they would just chop your head off.
The word that came to me before I even started that little moment there was boundaries.
Yes.
Creating boundaries that are boxes, and they aren't boundaries that are a part of what we are capable of co-creating. They're a boundary that's been programmed for us to believe.
Exactly. The structures that were put in place before we were even born on this earth. And structures like this they're so fear-based.
Yes.
The individual loses their sovereignty, their divinity in believing that they have to be a part of the system in order to live, to survive,
in order to live, to be, and to follow the law, follow the rules. And it's funny because, as you were saying about music and song and singing and these beautiful words that you were saying before, then we go to just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets. And I think of that because the Pied Piper is playing a flute-like instrument.
A sound.
And it's a sound. And it is something that leads...
Hypnotized all the rats.
All the rats. And it is used. I've used that phrase, like the Pied Piper, when somebody can lead others. Because they can use a sing-songy voice or something that makes them think that,
They can talk good.
Yes.
They can say all sorts of things.
And then we end up dancing like marionettes. And they're holding the puppet strings.
Oh, yeah.
And swaying to the symphony of destruction.
So the symphony of destruction is, to me, what is so powerful in this.
Yes.
Because for me, just like the Pied Piper, like you said, it's sound.
Yes.
And it is the voice. And it is the frequency of control. And to me, that is the symphony of the destruction. And it is a destruction of self.
Yes.
In my opinion,
Every
because you
single
lose
individual.
your sovereignty.
Yes.
You lose that self-regulation.
Yeah.
That being of self.
Yeah.
And it also, once it becomes so... rats. How do you herd rats? That's what makes this so powerful. Is everyone knows it's like herding cats.
Yeah,
right.
Very difficult.
But the Pied Piper did it.
Yep.
And government does it
with that hypnotic sound, and that's interesting because the word symphony. To me, I hope because what resonates with the word symphony in this song to me is a coming together of more than just one or two things. It's a collection of many different sounds in the symphony, from percussion to woodwind to brass to string to all of these different sounds that make such a beautiful together sound. And that's why I love how they use swaying to the symphony of destruction, acting like a robot. Its metal brain corrodes. The next line out of the Symphony of Destruction, acting like a robot.
Yes. Because you no longer have a sense of self. because you've become so plugged in to the system, to that control, that all your actions become robotic.
They become programmed.
Programmed. You're a program.
You're the puppet, and you're operating as a puppet with somebody else pulling the strings as the marionette. And,
yes.
And you try to take its pulse before the head explodes. I like that line.
Mm-hmm. Because when acting like a robot, its metal brain corrodes. It's fascinating because so many people talk about our brain as being a computer.
Yes.
So therefore, are we robots? We sure can be controlled.
Absolutely.
Because that is being seen in this song. And you try to take its pulse. For me, that's just looking for life.
Absolutely.
Looking for that little sliver of life.
That little sliver, that spark, that beautiful thing, that glimmer of, in a way, a lot of people like to say that glimmer of hope.
Which is spirit to me.
Which is spirit, it is.
Which animates this physical body.
Yes, and you try to take it, you want to see that before what what is happening is it's just becoming overloaded with programming,
mm-hmm.
and this kind of control. Yeah, and there's that explode.
Before the head explodes.
And we go back to, again, just like the Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. And we dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony. Now it's not just swaying to the symphony of destruction, it's swaying to the symphony. And that, to me, is like a hypnotic rocking where everybody's moving together. And it's just, now the entire crowd is completely hypnotized.
Right, because even though they know that the symphony will lead to destruction, they're still swaying to the symphony because they can't get away from that music, that frequency that has been programmed in. It's fascinating.
It is.
How deep you can go with these particular lyrics.
Yeah. and that's they repeat it because this is one of the things that I love about this song is when they wrote this, they realized, just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, we dance like marionettes, swaying to the symphony of destruction. They repeated it again because that is so powerful, and it is such a powerful portion of lyrics that I think they knew we got a great song here, because the next line is what then, because that's the thing, is there's these little moments in between these beautiful hints of the programming in this kind of universe that we exist in, and then we go to the earth starts to rumble, which is
fascinating.
Earth shaking.
Yes. And it takes a global event to wake people up.
Boy howdy, yeah. Boy howdy, here's an earth-shaking thing. And that's why I really feel like it's like a repeat of this very powerful lyric, very deep thought, just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, being hypnotized. We dance like marionettes. We are the puppets, and somebody's pulling our strings, swaying to the symphony, completely controlled, completely tranquilized. And here we then say the earth starts to rumble. What are we doing under this hypnotized state? And then the earth is shaking.
To wake us up.
Oh my. Yeah.
Because for me, the symphony is, like you said, a collection of so many different instruments.
Yes.
And for me, it is the symphony of the collective consciousness. Being in that frequency of destruction. Not realizing that it is also self.
Yes.
That it can break away from that symphony and be solo.
Yes.
And have a solo.
Yeah.
And have a beautiful sound on its own.
Yeah.
It doesn't believe that it can create that beautiful sound, and therefore it just allows itself to be a marionette and to be controlled by the system, by the rules and regulations set by someone other, than
Other than
self.
themselves. Yes.
Right.
And that's when they start to feel. That's why what you were saying was synchronizing with me. You feel the crescendo of the symphony, the building of the sound, and I would say going from something like pianissimo to, I don't know how many fortes you put on that sheet music, but I'm just saying, like, that crescendo, that building of sound, it is what is then the earth-shaking event.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that's...
Because we are Earth.
Yes.
We are so connected.
That's the deepest part of it, yeah.
Yes,
the deepest...
the Earth is us, and we are part of this Earth.
Yeah.
It's like everything we do affects the entire world.
Yes.
It's very... when you think about that, you have to stop for a moment and really think about that.
Yeah.
Do I really want to throw this piece of trash on the ground? I mean, it's every little thing
Universal.
you do affects the entire Earth, because you are Earth.
Yeah.
All of its properties are within your physical body.
Yeah.
And I love this because it's like we have been swaying to this symphony for eons. Eons.
Yeah.
How many times have we gone through that destruction?
Yeah.
And
So many times.
world powers fall. I mean, look what happened. Where the pyramids? Where are the people? Where? What happened to Egypt? What happened to Rome? What happened to?
Oh my gosh!
Everything. The Civil War here. It's like there's so many times because we're stuck in this symphony.
Yes.
That we continue on this wheel of destruction.
The symphony of destruction.
And I believe that now, and that's why I love this song. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to step away.
Yes, we do.
And to stop the music.
We do.
And to play a new sound
Absolutely.
of harmony.
Yeah.
Harmony.
Yeah.
There's a difference, I believe.
Is. Well, and then that is not going to be an earth-shaking event in a bad way. It's going to be a good way. It's, because, when world powers fall, a warring for the heavens, that reminds me, too, of, you're right, Donna. The things that you said are so resonating with me, because that almost sounds like it's a portion of the Bhagavad Gita talking about the warring in the heavens in the Vedas of the, ancient texts, and also the warring from all of the different wars over the history of humankind. And it just, it really makes us think, how we get stuck in that loop of destruction. That we get stuck, hypnotized by that symphony of destruction, that symphony that's programming us and hypnotizing us into thinking what's important. It isn't really important, but we follow that music and we sway to that symphony, and we end up on our own self-destructive path. And it's funny because Donna and I were looking at the song earlier, and this last part that I haven't said, a peaceful man stands tall. And both of us, we both had the thought of Jesus Christ, because that's one thing in all of the historical texts that a little bit like a Buddha figure, but Jesus was even, I would say kind of more of the figure of a peaceful man in its own strange way. But I agree, that idea of somebody like Jesus standing tall, because then there is that moment of tranquility, that moment of peace.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be Jesus. It can be you, Bruce. It can be me. It can be Ryan. It can be any man, woman, child that makes a decision to stand tall on their beliefs, on their sovereignty.
On their sovereignty.
Knowing who they are and not allowing the people call it the powers that be to control them.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
what, yes.
When you were
a
speaking-
peaceful man stands tall. I couldn't help but see the man in the movie walking tall.
Yes, yes, it is. It's I was thinking about the charging elephant to Buddha, charging at Buddha, and he's sitting there meditating, and everybody's afraid that he's going to get trampled, and it just stops right in front of him. And it's I think
That's a beautiful picture.
it's just the idea that it has to be only one thing. It's just funny that we both think of this, because that is an image of a peaceful man. And it is a beautiful image in the same way. And it doesn't have to be Jesus. It doesn't have to be Buddha. It doesn't have to be anything, because this person is within all of us. And we can all be that peaceful person standing tall. We all have that capability inside of us.
When you unplug from the symphony of destruction
Yes.
and begin to have your own voice, sing your own song,
Yes.
and
listen, like you said very early on, listen.
Yeah.
And sorry to interrupt you, yeah.
Yeah. Those structures that have you caught in the symphony of destruction begin to fade away.
They do.
Therefore, all of those, it's my way or the highway, I'm right, he's wrong, disappears.
Disappears. The rules can be...
Because then you realize that you are everyone else.
Yes.
That you are connected to this entire world.
Yes.
And what you do to another human being, you're doing unto yourself.
Yes.
And you really, the wars stop. The peace, all it takes is a peaceful man standing
That's
tall.
all it takes. And then we can avoid being just like, we
The
can
Pied
we can
Piper
be our own
being
Pied
led
Piper.
through the streets, dancing like marionettes, swaying to the symphony.
We can have our own symphony
Yeah, of peace.
of peace.
It will be of peace. That's the beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, and we have another request that we wanted to
thank you, Ryan, for
yeah.
that song. That was so awesome. And Randall in Alabama, if you are listening, stay tuned next week, because we will be doing your request.
Yes.
The Slime.
The Slime by Frank Zappa. We are looking forward to this. Thank you, Randall. Thank you, Ryan. We are so happy to get requests. Please send your requests into Lyrical Wisdom Show at gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. And of course, you can send them to the radio station here at 99 Classic Rock at gmail.com. That's 99classicrock@gmail.com.
And remember, go to YouTube.
Please go to YouTube.
Subscribe, like, and look for your requests, because they will be uploaded very, very soon.
Yes.
Yep. We are so excited. Thank you. Please keep sending in the requests.
Yes, please do.
They make my heart so happy.
We are so happy with it.
Yeah,
Thank you
it
so
makes
much,
me
you guys.
feel loved and listened to and heard.
Yes.
We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yes, we do.
Thank you so much for being here with us today on Lyrical Wisdom.